Welcome back, friends. It is Lauren the Soap Witch, and it is time to get started on wash day. So this is one, just a heads up, is going to be an extended wash day. I always do it the first hair wash day video of every month. And so the real intent behind the extended wash day is just to give a bit more of a realistic feel or understanding for how long it actually takes me to do like each portion of wash day. It usually takes me, I'm going to do a wash and go. It usually takes me around a 2-hour mark to do a wash and go. That includes all the steps. That includes the hot oil treatment the night before and all the washing and deconditioning, detangling, styling, blow drying, diffusing, whatever we call it. It's the same thing. Blow dryer does it. Okay, so it does not matter. Okay, ADHD in already. Anywho, the video will not be 2 hours, but it's usually around 1 hour-ish because some of the little things I do in between, like, y'all need to see that. You know, me getting my stuff out the drawer and plugging it in, blah, blah, blah. Like, y'all need to see that. Y'all don't care. So you might not care about any of it, which is fine. You can always fast forward to the parts you want to see if it gets to be too much. But anyway, also it just gives me a chance to just chat about real life and things and stuff. Okay, so that being said, I am going to first just show you what I'm working with. This is actually day 7 hair, which usually it's not, but yeah, I did not, this week of Thanksgiving. Well, by the time I post, it'll be the week after Thanksgiving, but the weekend of Thanksgiving. And so like the days that I usually would do a class and workout, the Y was closed and I was busy cooking, etc., whatever else, entertaining. And so, yeah, I did not work out like I usually do. And anyway, so I did not do a refresh because of that. And that's that. So this is for once and rarely day 7 hair. And yeah, that's where we're at. So I am going to start with my hot oil treatment, fight with my water bottle, because come on. And I usually, my hair is obviously not hard at all because I do not use gel to style it or any of that or do a refresh. And when I do a braid out or a twist out or any of those other outs, my hair is usually soft. This is one of the few times where I like my hair to be soft. So I am just parting my hair down the middle. In fact, this is like the only time I part my hair down the middle to do my hot oil treatment. And like, I get to humming and hawing. Like, it don't matter. It don't need to be perfect. Literally nobody else is gonna see this. Like, I'm not going outside. But I don't know, it's the OCD be kicking in. And I just be like doing too much. Okay, I know it ain't just me. If it is, I will. Okay, so I like to split it in half. And now that I done pretty much got to that point, apparently I need to spray some more back here, okay? Do that, because what are you doing? My hair is probably gonna be more tangly today than it usually is because I did not refresh. And the benefits for me of refreshing a couple, me being high porosity, is I can add more moisture to my hair throughout the week because it does not like to hold on to moisture. And also just changing it up because why not? But also it gives me like another detangle throughout the week. I don't do my like high intensity detangle. That's not really what it is, but with the conditioner and the brushing and all that, I usually just finger detangle, but that's typically good enough. And so my hair is not usually very tangly for wash day. But you're going to see today, regardless, that I'm still going to get through it with ease because that's how I roll now. And oh my God, like seriously, the glasses are all in the way. Okay, so I got this one side put up and I just wet this side down just a little bit just to make it easier to separate this side as well. Because I'm going to separate this into halves so I can have 4 sections, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. And that's good. We're not going to hum and haw over it today. Something we're not going to do. Now I'm going to take my water bottle and just spray a little bit more on my hair. I don't want to fully saturate it like I'm about to shampoo it, but I just like to have it moist. I know some of y'all hate that word, which I don't get, but it's a descriptor that matches. Sorry. I have tried hot oil treatments on completely dry hair and very saturated hair. And somewhere in the middle is nice. And then I just run my hands through my hair a little bit, just really get them moistened. Okay, so now the star of the show is going to be Acute Anointing. Let me just dry it off. So here it is, okay? And the way that I like to warm up my oil for my hot oil treatment is just run the sink full of very hot steaming water and then leave this in there for like 15 minutes and then get ready to go to town. Okay, so now that that's already done, I just take some and dump a nice little amount here on my actual scalp using the wonderful applicator tip that I thought would be a good idea to put on this bottle. And so I did way too much oil last week and I'm trying not to do way too much oil this week. I'm gonna just tell y'all that it is late and I almost skipped all of this. I just was not feeling it and I was finna just be like, never mind. Since I'm here, let's talk about it. So I put a bunch on my scalp. I massaged my scalp with my fingertips like so to help massage it in there. My scalp likes it. I like it. Let's keep doing it. And then I take my hands and drag that oil down the hair shaft. And then I pour a little bit more in the palm of my hand. Maybe a little bit more. Okay. And then I just prayer hands that through like this. I'm always saying like this and I don't know why. I think it's in there pretty well. Also, let me just finish this. I also like to take a little tiny amount and rub it on this finicky hairline up here because when I don't do that for extended periods of time, I just feel like it starts to be defiant. Like it starts to get really light. I call it white. It's not quite, but it's like really pale and look peely. And then my edges decide they won't run away. And I'm like, I don't understand why we have to be so dramatic. But anywho, that's my reasoning. So once I get all the oil in there, I just put in the Bantu knot. You don't got to do a Bantu knot. You can do whatever you want. I like the Bantu knot just because it gets the hair out of the way better. And it also fits up under all my stuff when I go to put all the caps and stuff on at the end. So I'm just going to move on to the next section now. But I'm going to do them same exact steps throughout the whole head. And I just like to take the excess oil that's on my hands here and rub it on this damp hair. Waste not, want not. I don't know. It gets on my nerves being all like, it gets my bottles and stuff all oily if I just leave it. And that bugs me. Okay. I was saying that I didn't really feel like doing none of this because I don't. And I had thought about skipping it because I thought about it. I have to drop something every time. I had posted, a happy Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. I'm trying to think about when it was. Wrong. And in that message, it was definitely a thinking of people who struggle during the holiday season specifically because the holidays are not joyous for everybody, right? And sometimes I am everybody. It is no secret, and I have discussed before, though I certainly don't mention in every video, that I myself am a widow, was widowed 9.5 years ago now. And there's a lot of people, really, I don't know why, but we seem to think we have an idea about grief, but we don't. We don't, friends. And I experienced that firsthand in trying to navigate my own path or journey. Yeah, that sounds like a better word. Journey through grief that I'm still honestly navigating. And if I'm gonna be real, I think you navigate it the whole rest of your life. Losing somebody that is that close to, a spouse, a child, a sibling, best friend, close friend, parent, it's a different kind of loss. Because I had lost people before my husband became sick with cancer and passed away. I had lost people before. There wasn't nothing in this singular world that compared to that loss, that grief process. And also the fact that we had, at the time, small children together. Lord, they're not small now, but they were 5 and 8. Is that right? Yes, at the time. And I was 32. It was a journey. And, you don't, most of us, you don't ever think it's going to be you. You just don't. And we were at like kind of the height of what we felt like our best health at the time as well. I mean, I did not have this extra 60 pounds. But we had run a half marathon, something I only thought crazy people did. Forgive me if you're one of those people, but I was like, it was rewarding, but that's off topic. But we were eating quote unquote right. I won't get off topic, but we thought we were doing all the right things. And then he was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer and he didn't smoke. Life happens. And while he was still here, his decline hit a hard, sharp downward trajectory around the holidays. And it was pretty bad. It was like to the point where I was kind of worried to come home every day because I didn't know what I was going to be coming home to, like what kind of condition he was going to be in, because some days were absolutely horrid. Some days were decent. At this point, we were past really good days, to be honest. That last holiday he was here was rough, very rough. He even landed in the hospital it was not technically Christmas evening. It was like early in the morning the next day, the day after Christmas. And then the following holiday, I was just like, I don't want to do nothing. cares about these stupid holidays? I didn't care. Anything that had been like a tradition before, I didn't want to do it. I didn't care. There was nothing happy about the holidays that year as far as I was concerned. And I had honestly struggled every year since then. The assistant has done a lot to try to attempt to like help me navigate that time. Even though his grief was not as strong, he did know my late husband because he was a friend of our family, before then. And so he has tried to do a lot of. I got this knot down here and I don't understand. What terrible timing. But he has tried to attempt to not let me just sit here and waste away in some of my more reclusive stages where I was like, I don't want to do anything. I'm just going to sit here and become a part of the couch because that's kind of where I was on my way to becoming. But the holidays I've always found to be somewhat of a struggle. I am really humming and hawing really bad here. We're just going to put this up and keep going. The holidays, of course, were never the same. Not to say that they've all been horrid. They have managed to be filled with some kind of light again and enjoyment, but that really took some time. And so, I know it's can be very difficult to be going through when everybody's ho 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 and ha ha ha, and you I don't feel like it. I do not care. I just want people to know that that's okay. You do not have to feel forced to try to dredge up some fictitious feelings that you don't feel. And, if other people don't understand, that's their problem. In my nicest words possible. Sometimes people are just not going to get it. And that's also okay. Some things we experience as an individual, and that's totally fine because this journey is you definitely want people in your corner. You definitely want your village to help you out, but in a lot of ways, it's still a personal journey that no one else can really do for you. I still even struggle this holiday. That's why I'm saying, I feel like we don't know much about grief. I talked about that earlier and then got on topic. Not really, but off of that specific topic. Because I feel like sometimes we have people that feel like they're an authority to speak on something for all people. Hair being one of them, interestingly enough. Maybe I'll talk about that later tomorrow if I remember. Because we be just having folks like we're a monolith and everything doesn't work for everybody, but with grief, that is true. And so, people can write books and they can be a helpful guide, maybe, or sometimes not, because I can tell you the time didn't do nothing. It did not make the holidays I had to create new things throughout time, but I became a new person over time. I feel like a part of me struggled so much because I kept trying to go back to being the person that I was, but that person died with him. And I'm not trying to sound morbid when I say that, but there's a lot of things that we did and had planned and did the way we did them only because we were together. So I don't do those things anymore. And so there's some things I do because they're me. And then now I do new things because I'm a different person. I've gone on a different trajectory, and that's all okay. It is all okay to discover and figure all that stuff now. And it's really part of the healing process if you want to know my true opinion about it. And so I think we should give ourselves or loved ones, if they're the ones going through the process, space to figure out what life is going to look like after a really big loss, because it ain't ever going to look or feel or be the same. And everyone has to find a way to come to grips with that and be okay with that, because it just is, whether we like it or not. And me being a creature of habit did not like it. And I kind of fought against it a lot until I just realized I was fighting against the inevitable and really making myself and probably some other people really miserable in the process. Luckily, I had some excellent people in my corner who were able to provide support while I was trying to navigate that foolery, and still am, to be honest, because I wasn't really just only navigating it for myself. I was also trying to help my, at the time, very young children navigate that, because man, there is nothing that just sat in my chest so heavy as what I perceived as the unfairness of my kids losing their dad at such, at all, but especially at such young ages. I was just like, man, I don't know. That's a hard one still to reconcile with. I'm like, man, it's trash. That's just how I feel about it. And I just had to decide that was okay. It was okay to feel that way about it. And so I feel like for them, it was helpful with them being so young to just not make it weird or awkward to talk about it. They were free to talk about any feelings they have whatsoever, they miss their dad, or to figure out how to express that they miss their dad. Because sometimes they couldn't express that. Sometimes they didn't realize that was, it sounds crazy, but sometimes they didn't realize. They didn't realize that was what was going on. They just knew something was up. They didn't feel right in their little selves. And sometimes we would just talk to them and get down to the, oh, that's what this is, you know? And so like making a really open, wide space where they just felt comfortable expressing whatever they wanted to express. Sadness, happiness, anything in between. When I was planning and getting ready for his memorial at the very last minute, because it was really hard to try to pull myself together to do it, even though it was a whole month after he had passed away. We won't talk about any of that. That's just what had happened, is the end of that story. But he had a bunch of pictures. I used to scrapbook, and he had a bunch of pictures he had always wanted me to scrapbook for him. And when we moved into this house, the shit hit the fan really quick. Like as far as him being sick and getting diagnosed, I'm trying to think. Like we were here maybe a month before he felt his first symptoms. We just had no clue what that was, unfortunately. And so a lot of those pictures and stuff, he had told me that he had wanted me to do something with him before. And we just moved a lot of stuff into the garage because we hadn't decided what we wanted to do with it. And I never unpacked that stuff. I just want to let you know it took me years to actually get through unpacking everything that we brought. There might still be a box or two downstairs. I hope not. But I pulled out those pictures that he had talked about, and I got 2 big boards and like a couple of plaques and shadow boxes, and did like a scrapbook them. You know, I put them on their scrapbook style. Yeah, that's a better way to put that. Okay. 2 of them were big, like, you know, poster boards. And then the other 2 were smaller. 4 technically. It was 2 shadow boxes and 2 plaque things. Anyway, I'm probably not describing any of that right, but that's what it was. So I put those all together, and for his memorial, we put them out on display because it turned out to be a really pretty day outside, beginning of April. And you know, it's a real toss up here. It could be great or awful. So it was a really pretty day, really warm. We did everything outside. And so I asked the kids, I kind of, in a lot of ways, try to let them take their lead. I don't want to make things feel forced or awkward or any of that. So after it was over and I still had all the big boards, I asked them if they wanted to keep them in their room so they could have their dad in there with them. And they said yes. So they've actually had them in there the whole time. Like they're still in their room. But I felt like, you know, stuff like that was just a way to help them not feel awkward or any more awkward or weird than, you know, it already was. And they could have whatever feelings they felt and it was okay. And they've always said that they felt that because, you know, I checked in with them. I still check in with them even though they're 17 and 15. Jesus. But yeah, it was all really challenging, and it's still, to be honest, fairly challenging. It doesn't hit me as often, but when it hits me, it still hits me like a punch in the gut, because it's just like, man, there's so many things about it that you feel a certain kind of way, and I don't think I'll ever not feel that kind of way. Okay, that's not wanting to stay, that's aggravating me. I'm gonna fix it. All that being said, that's how I feel about those things. I mean, we could chat more about it in the comments if y'all feel like it or want to or interested or care about that conversation at all, but I just always feel like the grief conversation is such an important one to have and be direct and open with, because I feel like so many people are frightened by it or awkward or unsure about it. And I really want us as people, just in general, all people, to be better about it, just in general, because it's already so difficult as it is. We don't gotta like try to pretend like it doesn't exist, because people experience it all the time. I'm gonna stop now. Okay. So cutting that off. If you want to talk about it some more in the comments, feel free to leave your experience or ask any questions. I'm open to answering any questions about it, period. But I am going to finish this hot oil treatment up. So first I'm going to put this plastic cap on. And then the bonnet. And then the big giant scarf. Okay. So the reason why I put all this stuff on my head is because I feel like, one, when I first was learning or watched video on how to do this is what they had did, okay, which was to do the hot oil treatment the way I had just did it on damp hair, all over, yada yada, and then cover it up with all this stuff. And one, it's just gonna help it marinate into the hair better, you know, trap some of that warmth, okay. And sort of insulate it, help it work into the hair a little better. At least that's what I feel like happens. I feel like that's what they say happens. It don't matter. It works. I'm a fan. This way I've been doing it. I'm gonna keep doing it. Also, I just don't want to get oil and stuff also all over my pillows or my clothes. I got on my shirt last week. I didn't care about that shirt, but typically I'm a little neater and better about it. I just don't want to get it all over everywhere while I'm sleeping. Okay, so anywho, I'm finna go and lay down, and I'm gonna see you guys in the morning. Okay, bye. Okay, morning it is. It's really not morning, actually. It's like almost 1 o'clock. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, anyway. Had a glasses change. It's almost like a wardrobe change. My mouth hates my guts. You know how you be typing in your phone and it auto corrects you for no reason? Yeah, my mouth, like, it does the same thing. I'm like, I didn't ask you to say that. That's not what I wanted you to say. I don't know why you're so disobedient. Anyway, like, it and my brain don't agree, and then I just come out sound like a fool. Regardless, I'm gonna wash my hair. I don't care what I sound like. All right. So anyway, he'll take all this stuff off. I never want to see it again. All right, that's a lie. I'm going to see it next week. To get this down, I just turn it in the opposite direction, and that's that. So easy. I like easy. We probably talked about that a few trillion times. So today, I'm kind of excited to see what happens just in general. I'm washing and going because that's what I do most of the time. But it's my preference, and I find it to be easy. But I'm going to mix a little old with some new. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We will chat more about that when I get out the shower because it's time to wash this hair.
All right, let's get on with washing this hair. So obviously this is going to be the extended version, so you'll see a few more steps and it'll take a little bit more time to go through it, but I just kind of want to give you a feel, like I said at the beginning of the video. So here I'm just thoroughly saturating my hair, and partially I do this because it helps to get some of the oil, we're not starting this already, oil out before I actually start shampooing. But also I find that when I apply my products, especially shampoo and conditioner, that I get better use out of the product, and I have to use less of the product to get said better use. So with that being said, I'm about done showing off the hair, and now it's time to go in with Whipped Wonder whip shampoo, which is an absolute delight. I say that every time because it's true every time. That's how much I'm using on my first wash. And I'm just going to dunk my hair back under the water and just take the shampoo, and I'm not trying to give it a lather. I just want to distribute it evenly between both hands and apply it to completely sopping wet hair, because as you see, it starts to lather immediately as soon as I start to scrubbing. So I wash my hair, I spread it around the top of my head. I do not get the mids and the ends, and I'm scrubbing with my fingertips on my scalp and distributing that shampoo throughout that hair and on the scalp. The reason that I don't shampoo my mids and ends directly is because I have read, or actually it was a video I saw, either way, I seen some information that said you should just stick with your scalp and the top of your hair with the shampooing, and then just kind of bring the shampoo or the lather just down through the rest of the hair without doing the whole scrubbing thing. And so I've been doing that, and the reason I've been doing that is because the mids and the ends are more fragile because they're older hair, and it's supposed to cause less breakage. I do feel like I have retained more length since I've been doing it this way, so that's just why I've continued on. We'll see. So I was playing in the suds and now it's time to rinse it out. When I rinse, I like to use my hands and squeeze out as much product as I can as I rinse, because I'm impatient and I feel like it takes less time, but also as I'm feeling and going through it, it helps to get out the product a little better, at least in my mind. That's what I feel like. It's dangerous up there, y'all. Go at your own risk. My mind, that is. Anywho, moving on. So I'm pretty close to having all of this rinsed out, so it's time to go in with the second wash. I'm going to use that little. I always use, like, it almost seems like a fraction of the amount on the second wash, but that's because clean hair or cleaner hair lathers better than dirtier hair, and that's because all the soap suds and particles are getting caught on all that dirt. So I need less shampoo to go ahead in with the second wash, and it lathers quicker and bigger than it did the first time, and I really can feel secure in knowing that my hair is nice and clean, but I also like that it does not feel stripped. I could wash it enough times that it does, but I just don't want that. So going in again, just squeezing out that suds down through the rest of the hair, finish up that cleaning, and I just like playing in it because it's fun. Who knew that being childlike and enjoying the suds actually would have a point? All right. Anyway, So going through and rinsing my hair again, using my hands to squeeze out the shampoo so I can make sure I get it all out, and preferably quickly. Okay, so now that that's done, I usually just skip this part, period. But I like to just part my hair, especially if I'm going to do a wash and go, because I like to already have that part and be close to the shape that I want to have it in when I apply my conditioner. This was just like something I used to do when I used to do my wash and go in the shower, and I just never stopped doing it. So anyway, I'm one of those, if it works and it's not broke, ain't no need to fix it. So I'm just wetting my hair again because, you know, it was already starting to shrink up and dry out, even though I have not left the shower yet. And so I think I actually skip this part too, or most of it, during my regular videos. But yeah, I'm just going in and getting the hair wet again, and then I go and split the hair into 2 equal sections. So since I do a side part where there's more hair on one side, I take more hair on the other side in the back, if that makes any sense, just so I can feel like there's equal parts on both sides. And I really just think that's some OCD nonsense that I do. You don't have to do that. It's not necessary. It's just what I do. So I take that hair, and then I'm going to put it up with a clip because I'm going to work on one half of my head at a time. And so I'm going to dunk that hair back under the water because it's not as wet as I want it to be. I also apply my conditioner on sopping wet hair. And so here's Twilight Tempest making it in for a showing. That's my deep conditioning hair mask. I'm side-eyeing my hair over there because it's like trying to fall. And I was also showing off how thick Twilight Tempest is. That's how much I am using for this whole one side of my head. And again, gonna duck my hair under the shower water yet again. If you hear noise in the background, you don't hear it. There are always people here making noise. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I rub the product in between my hands while my hair is under the shower, and then as soon as I step out, I just start applying it. And the main reason I rub the product between my hands is the same reason that I do it with the shampoo. I just want equal amounts on both hands so I can have more control over how I'm distributing it throughout my hair. I feel like I be leaving out words when I'm talking because I talk too fast. Okay, so then I just take my hands and help to like more thoroughly incorporate the product into my hair strands. I just want it to be fully incorporated. That's what I'm doing here. That's the method to my madness. And do a little finger detangling before I start as well, just to help get the process going, you know. So now that I've done that to my satisfaction for the most part, I'm going to go in with the Unbrush, the most wonderful brush I've ever used in my entire life. And I'm going to start from my ends and work my way up to my roots. So this week I'm going to show you detangling both sides of my hair. Usually I just show the one half, and as I told you earlier, my hair was quite tangled because I don't know why, but anytime I do a style that is not a wash and go, my hair is always more tangly. That some people say they get more knots when they do a wash and go. I'm the opposite. I don't hardly get any knots or tangles, but when I do any other style, braid out, twist out, any other out, and my hair is always more tangly. Weird how we're all different. It's crazy. So I like to go in with my method, which is just to brush down and then finger comb right after. Brush, finger comb, and I just feel like that helps me to get all the shed hair out, or not all, but you know, a good portion of it, and then also get through any difficult tangles that are in my hair, because the Unbrush, it won't really rip through any of that. With the softer flexible bristles, it's meant to just kind of help to gently detangle. And so I don't rip through with my fingers either, but I kind of find them and I just kind of help it along. So I feel like the process is just sort of I don't know what I'm going with here, but I'm more effective. That's it. Words, they're coming to me. So anyway, that's that whole side done in pretty much no time flat. And so then after I get that side fully detangled, I just go in and braid it. I used to twist it. One day I'll probably go back to twisting it because I'm always just doing something different. But I'm just braiding it. I started braiding it because I think I felt like it would help me retain more moisture, or it wouldn't dry out as fast versus a twist. I don't know. I'm probably making stuff up, but that's where I'm at today. So anyway, after I get it all braided, any excess product, I just rub it back on the hair because waste not, want not. And so now it's time to get that other side that was trying to be all defiant. And it's still wanting to dry out even though I soaked it completely. So I'm going to stick my hair back under the water because again, I want it saturated, sopping wet before I add the product into my hair. So methinks that's good enough. It looks all good when she all soaking wet like that. Okay, that's how much I'm using. Stick my hair back under the water while I distribute it between my hands, because again, I want it directly from under the shower wet when I apply it. Now, the reason I like to do it with conditioner, I think I already said this earlier, but just a little bit more detail, especially this one, because it's a very thick product, and so the water helps it to really glide along my hair strands, and I find that I can use less product but still get a wonderfully amazing deep conditioning experience and detangling experience. All of my conditioners have incredible slip because I designed them that way. Somewhere in this video I talked about my tangles. It might have been earlier. I talked about my tangles and how mean they used to, just serious. I mean, me and my mom, when I tell you that we used to fight, it's not an exaggeration. I'd be screaming. I thought she was trying to rip my hair off and my head off. And I have broken whole brushes and combs. So when I was working on creating these products, slip was at the utmost top of the level of importance as far as I was concerned. I want soft hair, and moisturized hair, but that slip, I really needed it. Also, when I am brushing on that side, it feels kind of awkward, and so I flip the brush backwards because I don't know why. That technique I kind of feel like it's more effective on that side. Again, that just might be a weird me thing, but I don't know. It just seems to work better for me. So that's what I've been doing. So yeah, I'm getting through it very easily. I did not skip any from the time I start brushing the front. I do not cut or skip anything from either side. This is just how fast my detangling process is. It went from, I don't know, at least an hour to minutes. And so biggest part of it came from me just making these conditioners with a ton of slip, and the unbrush, I can't doubt it. It did help speed up the process, an already fast process. So you can see that I am done detangling that side as well. It is time to go ahead and braid that side up. Again, just trying to hold on to as much moisture as possible throughout my whole process. That's what most of my process is really designed for. When I found out that I was high porosity, I started really leaning into how do I keep more moisture. So a good portion of my processes are really evolving or whatever. They have to do with that. So now that I've gotten that all done, I'm just going to show you how much hair I lost or didn't lose, really. And I even include the hair that I lost when I did a little finger detangling. I just kind of put it on the little rack that you can't see, and I combine all the hair together. So so that's another thing about the detangling process is between the slip and the unbrush, I don't lose much hair at all. So I was making a face because I splashed myself all with conditioner. Anyway, so I'm just taking those down. I usually let it sit in my hair for around 20 minutes. The steam in the shower is good enough that I don't really feel the need to sit under a hooded dryer. With my low porosity son, I plop him under the dryer because it's absolutely necessary. I feel like for low porosity hair, that heat really makes a ginormous difference in getting products and moisture into their hair. So after I let it sit, I took the braids down and then just proceeded to rinse out all the wonderful goodness. Just another showing. I can tell that it's growing. That's another reason why I started doing this shot this way, because it's easier for me to kind of see the growth of my hair, and also it just looks really pretty. I always like when I see other people do it, so I'm like, why not? I got pretty hair too. Okay, anyway, so it looks incredible, nice and wonderfully moisturized, and now it is time to go ahead with this wash and go.
Okay, always happy to have that finished. I'm gonna get started on styling. So I had said I was combining some old with some new. What I had meant by that was some years ago, there's something on my glasses. Okay, some years ago, I was doing my hair, doing a different, like everything almost, actually. I'm not going to do it in the shower. I used to do it in the shower. We're not going that far back. I used to use my spray, my moisturizing spray, and then I would use leave-in cream and gel, right? And so, I just thought, no, it wasn't this gel either, okay? It was the sea moss gel. We ain't doing that either because I don't make that no more. I just wanted to see what would happen if I tried that, current day. So that's what we're doing. Just a little fun, playing around. Y'all know how I like to test things out. Okay, so first I'm going to fix this part because I sort of kind of did some with it in the shower, but yeah, it needs a little more help. You know what I'm saying? I know you do. And did you go too far with the... Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, that's closer. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, that's somewhere in the vicinity. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my hair and split it it's kind of in half. Not really, but well, usually what I do is I just take more over from this side to sort of make it like even. So I feel like I have the same amount of hair on each side. That's close enough. And then I'm gonna put this side up. So next, I'm gonna split this into the front and the back. No, I'm not gonna do that yet. Hold on. What I'm going to do is douse this in some more water. And then I'm going to take some of my newly made Mysterious Magnificence. I can't get the lid off of. Okay. Now it's hot, really hot in my bathroom because I have a heater in here. So it gets a little milky when it's hot because it's got a heat intolerance. I don't know. But it goes back after it cools down. It goes back to a clearish aloe vera type color. It doesn't matter. Just shake it up and go. It's always fine. Okay. So I'm just spraying my hair with some of my moisturizing spray. And then I'm going to rub my fingers through my hair. And I'm looking for a little bit of foaming action. Not like I put mousse in there, not that much. But a little bit like this. Have a bit of a, I don't know, coating. I used to do more foaming action, but that was too much. And sometimes I would end up just like kind of wringing it out. Not wringing it out, but I didn't keep it all in there. But I want something. And this is the something. It helps give me some added moisture and definition, much needed for my high porosity hair. It's also just good for a refresher. You know I'm obsessed with aloe vera. You've seen other videos maybe, or you haven't, I don't know. I'm obsessed. It's in all of my soaps, lotions, except for the beer lotions. It's not in those because there's beer in those. This is really off topic, okay? I'm gonna follow that up with the leave-in. There we go. I don't think I'm gonna do that much. Okay, we're just going to comb that through, rake that through, get it all the way through. I'm doing what I typically do, which would be to do my whole, like put these base products, if you want to call it that, all over a big section of hair. I mean, whole half of my head, I guess, would be a big section. And then I'm just going to do the styler on sections. That's typically what I do, but that's what I've been doing recently with wash and goes too. So next I'm going in with Curly Concoction Styling Cream. I don't know why I took off the lid before I showed it to you, but yeah. And I'm gonna use that much on this whole side of my head. It's super thick, so I don't use a lot, especially for a wash and go. That's not a good idea. So I'm just gonna rub that in, rake it through. Yes. I didn't put water in between those steps. I probably should have. I'm gonna put some water in there now though. Cause I always like to, well, no, I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna put water on just before I do the style. I'm not saying I'm mixing the old with the new because I just used to put it all on there, but I was in the shower. So, I mean, it was exceedingly drippingly wet when I applied all the products on it. I was doing, 4 sections at a time. So, anywho, only time will tell if it's gonna be a big giant mistake. So now I'm gonna put some up. Just gonna leave that much down and then work with this top section and a couple of more sections because it's like it's too much to be one section with the way that I've been doing it recently. Okay, I've been splitting this in half as well. Not gonna hum and haw though. What we're not gonna do, even though we're doing exactly that. So here we are. I'm gonna start by adding some water down here. Did I overdo the water? Where was I? Oh yeah, this is a slick sorcery. I just made myself a new container because if you recall from my refresh a couple of weeks ago, I was working with bare bones. That's what I'm gonna start with. I don't know if I want to put some more on there. I did, but it probably is too much and it's gonna end up flaking and I'm gonna be upset. Okay, it's looking really good. I like to put a little water on the end too. Raking and pressing along. Okay, going on to the next section. Well, first I'm gonna clip this section. Okay, spraying a bunch of water. Just trying to see something. And start with that much. So I'm just raking and pressing. I'm gonna do a little bit more with the roots and drag that down. Rake, press. I usually spray a little water on top. Almost forgot. So we're just gonna see how this goes all the way through. I'm not gonna shingle or finger coil or any of those things because I just don't like doing that. So let us talk, because yesterday, which was still today for you, I had kind of hit on, everything doesn't work for everybody. Really? Everything doesn't work for everybody. I was talking about grief, but also said that I would touch on how that also applies to hair, like hair in general, because I feel like we just be wanting to have these hard and fast rules about what we should do or shouldn't do. You shouldn't wash with hot water. You shouldn't wash with cool water. You should only do your hair in sections. You should only do big, large, whatever. You should only apply your product like this. And I feel like we're really kind of bad about it in the natural hair community. And I'm sure that part of that is because we have had so many struggles with even understanding our own hair. So I get that. And I feel like some people just feel really passionate once they figure out what works for their hair. But you got to remember that that's just what works for your hair. And that there might not work for everybody else's hair. I was on the TikTok earlier, and there was a young lady. She was, 25 or something, I think she said. And she was like, hey, type 4 ladies, what are you doing to get your hair to grow? She was like, mine is at my shoulders. What y'all doing? Of course, some people had advice because she was like, well, I've tried all of the things. I'm paraphrasing at this point. She was like, I've tried all of the things, and all of the things that folks say haven't been working. And so she was like, what up? Of course, some people have some suggestions. They do sew-ins. They do protective. What is productive? Why do you? This what I was talking about earlier, y'all. This is right here. Anyway, washing goes right, but then inevitably here comes the person or people. You ain't type 4. You don't have type 4 hair. You're type 3. And then, of course, putting her on the defensive, which annoys me to no end. She had to make a response video to one of the comments, but doesn't this look like type 4? Because her hair was like an up, right? When she asked the question, like a little bun or something. And, people looked at her shiny hair and, like her edges, and it's laid down. Clearly she had to use product to like slick it down. And so she had another video with it down, just showing the hair. And she was like, is this not type 4? Am I confused? Her hair is type 4. Okay, first of all, it was 4A-ish looking. Possibly could have had some 3C in there, but she was definitely type 4, period. But boy, oh boy, like, it's funny. I thought I was the only person that got annoyed with those people. Like, yes, you do on occasion see somebody that ain't nowhere near close to what their hair type is, but I don't really feel like we're that bad anymore. I feel like most of us, we're pretty close. We have some idea. We might be a little off. We may say 4C is 4B. We may say 4B is 4A, in that vicinity. But like, I rarely see people that's just type 3 talking about their 4C anymore. Unless they're going for bait clicks, and that's another story. Okay, we've seen those too. We know what that is. I'm surprised I've never had anybody come on and try to tell me my hair type was something else. I'm type 4. I call myself 4B. That's what I think I have. But y'all know how I also kind of don't care about the number letter system, because I think that's just a small part of the story. Anywho, she definitely had type 4 hair was the point. But you always got some folks trying to gatekeep and get on here and tell somebody what their hair is or isn't. And it's like, first of all, mind your business. Okay, unless she had 2C waves talking about she was type 4, you ain't really need to say nothing. Most people did come on and be like, yes, she is. Like, most people recognize it for what it was. Her hair had pretty high shine, which just means it was thoroughly moisturized. Some people were asking questions. Some people were telling her she should figure out porosity. Like, I agree, obviously. But the telling her what her hair type is stop embarrassing me, okay? Is or isn't just is so frustrating and wild, I think, to a lot of people, because it just gets in the way. Like, it gets in the way. And also, here's the thing. Just because I have 4B hair doesn't mean that another 4B zigzag curl lady, because that's what they look like. Her hair may look slightly different, but she might still be a 4B. Like, just because I'm 4B doesn't mean all 4B has to look exactly like mine. And just because I'm high porosity doesn't mean that all high porosity looks just like mine. Because on top of all the things that we want to label ourselves with, we think that because we figured out a certain aspect of our hair, that it all must look like mine. And that's not necessarily the case. There are other things. Often we have a mixture of hair types. You can have 4C and 4B. Some people have type 3 and type 4. And I don't mean 4A, 3C. Like, I've seen one girl look like she had 3B and like 4B, And so, like, hair genetics, they're wild. Like, it's crazy how they work. And that has a huge impact on hair in general. I mean, so does your diet, okay? And you can have healthy hair and it can grow in all those other things, but your genetics absolutely play a part in that. That's something that will alter the look and feel of your hair. And another 4B high porosity girl's hair might look different than mine. It might not look like my hair. And so it's not my job to go tell her she don't got that type of hair because it doesn't look just like mine. That's what I'm getting at, y'all. That is what I'm getting at. And so, I mean, it might be in the vicinity. That's cute. Okay, let it be in the vicinity. And I see some people's hair like wet to dry. Like, my hair is wildly different. Like, if I just sit there and let my hair air dry and don't put a singular product on it, I will have straight fuzz with no definition, especially in this area I'm working with right here. It will be fuzz with no definition. And that can happen. There may be another high porosity 4B person. They don't deal with that. Or their fuzz stuff is in the back. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why we can't live and let live, or whatever the saying is. So I'm gonna put a teeny bit more gel, even though I sprayed water on this part up here. It's gonna do what it's gonna do anyway, y'all. But I'm just saying, we gonna see. So that's this half done. Looking pretty good. And gonna go to the next side, the other side. So over here, okay. Look at that. Look at that fuzzing. That's what I'm talking about right here. High porosity. If I just let this dry though, I wonder what people think my hair type was. I would wonder what they would guess. Like, cause look at it, it's just fuzz. You don't see no definition at all. Nothing like this, right? At all. It's like two separate heads of hair almost. Hair in the back don't do that. Look. But I actually think this might just be normal porosity in the back now. Anyway, so going to do the same thing after I switch my microphone so I don't get it all wet, because this happens every time. So this side, I am going to douse it with water first. Just like I did the other side, I need to thoroughly re-wet this because, as you see, it was drying even though I have not been doing this that long, and turning into an absolute fuzz mess. But it is drying out immediately and losing all definition. I never actually had to take the test. As soon as I heard the description for high porosity, I knew I was it. The poster child. In fact, I did actually take the test, but I was saying that I was not surprised when I dropped my hair in that water and it did not float. Anywho, I just think it's wild. And also, I think this just, hot take, okay, that we could be a little nicer to each other when we run across each other on the online. Like the know-it-all, like steak attitude. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Why do we have to do that to each other? It's ugly. That's just I'm not saying you ugly. I'm saying that behavior is ugly. No one wants to be belittled while you're attempting to educate them, unless you're just trying to belittle them and you're not trying to educate them. And well, I guess you're doing what you intend to do, but like, you're not helping nobody, not even yourself. Just trying to figure out what is the point. Why come online to try to belittle somebody or make them feel stupid if you believe that they have incorrect information? But show a hand or comment or whatever. How many of you have learned by being belittled? I'll be surprised if you put your hand up and if you learned it wasn't effectively and it came with trauma. So I'm just trying to say, why would you want to do that to somebody else, friends? We could learn stuff and teach with kindness. I know we can. We're capable. But I feel like with kindness doesn't hurt anybody. Like, even though I don't sugarcoat, I still don't belittle people, my children, when I teach them something. And man, the tone that we be coming at folks with, like, I know tone is hard to understand from the internet sometimes. And I know us neurodivergent people sometimes have trouble with that. I know I do. But I still think that you could tell when you being a jerk. I know when I'm being one. Or I'll type it and be like, maybe I don't want to come across like that. Let's try it again. Retype it. Now, I'm not saying you got to do none of this. I ain't your mama. I ain't your nothing. I'm just some random girl doing her hair on YouTube. But I'm just saying is we not helping ourselves with those attitudes. We're not helping ourselves and we not helping nobody else. And I really just feel like when I come on here and do my stuff, the thing that I want most is to be helpful. I'm just trying to share with folks stuff that has helped me along. Stuff that has worked for me. This is styling cream. I didn't show y'all nothing, but that's what it is. Because at the end of the day, I feel like most of us is on here looking for that, I still am watching people's videos all the time. One, I don't know why, it's just something soothing to me about watching us do our hair. Like, I just love it. Working our way through that beautiful coily hair. I love it. So I watch videos just because I like watching people do their hair, one, but often I get a lot of information. I get a lot of tips from people and a lot of interesting things that I may want to try and keep or try and then never try again. And so, like, I feel like a lot of us is on this online. We just trying to figure it out. So, like, I don't know why we can't just do it with some kindness. That's all this little portion of my conversation has been about. This is what's been working for me in X, Y, and Z, and this is how I do it. And what I do, it may not work for them. That was actually how I found out that I needed to ask people what their porosity was before I recommend products to them. Because that was how I found out that my good friend Karen is low porosity. Oopsie. Because some of the ladies in the coaching group that I'm in, they had seen me doing my hair. I used to do it live on Facebook. And I don't do it anymore because they're tyrants and they won't let me do my screen sideways. Like, what is this? Landscape? Okay. I feel like that's paper, but it's the same. They force you to do it in that portrait way. And I already have enough trouble being still and staying in this frame as it is. So can you imagine me trying to fool with this in portrait? Okay. So no, you can't. I can't. This is what the bottom line is. Water. I don't know why I did this. I needed to split this. Whatever. I guess I rubbed the water through and then split it. Anyway, where was I? I totally blanked on what I was talking about. But what works for me? Okay, let's go on with that. Anyway, was I finished with the what works for me conversation? I'm gonna be so aggravated when I look back on here and I can't remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, Karen. I knew I was gonna get there. Man, sometimes you just gotta retrace your steps, like when you lose your keys. Anyway, several of the ladies saw me doing live. That's where I was. On live, I used to do my hair live. I don't know more. In the story, I already said why. And so they were like, oh, I want to try that because, I like what you did there. And then they had came for some tip on, how I apply mine and all that stuff, how much I use, the typical stuff that, people sometimes looking for help on when they try new products or a new technique or whatever. And so we were all in class one day and, they complimented my hair because I do it on Sunday, usually right before I go in for a co-working session. Karen was like, man, I want some. And so she bought some hair products like right then. Karen is one of our most supportive members. I mind you, she want everybody to win. We all want everybody to win. I'm not saying don't nobody else want that. We're a supportive group. So she ordered the, at the time, Lazy Wash and Go, used it, and her hair, she wasn't happy with how it turned out. And I was like, man. So me, of course, as the maker, that's the last thing I ever want to hear. Like, because big part of my reasoning for making these products is because I want us to be able to love our hair. I want it to be easy for us to love our hair. And so many of us struggle. I can't tell you how long it used to take me to just detangle because the tangles in my hair are so fierce. Finding a way to just make my life easier to the point where I just enjoy wash day. Because I know my coach, she was looking at me sideways. She's like, you like wash day? I'm like, it's great. It's my favorite day. It's my self-care. It is. I look forward to washing my hair every week. But anyway, so, I was like, man, and I was, trying to figure out, I was like, man, why the products didn't give her the results, and I was like, I don't know. Somewhere in the midst of this, I realized that my son himself was low porosity. I don't think it had kicked in yet to ask her or have this discussion with her, right? I went to go get him a hot oil treatment one day, and I always spray the water on my hair, so I went to go spray the water on his hair, and it just sat there like beads of water, it not permeating nothing. And I'm like, boy, I think you have low porosity hair. So we're going to have to do things a little different. We started out by warming up the water in the water bottle. And of course the oil itself was warm when I'm adding it, because even I do that, and sitting him under the dryer. But the point was we had to do things a little differently. Once I got kind of in the midst of that, and I realized that's why he had trouble with some of the other products, because I was inadvertently formulating everything for high porosity, because that's what I am. I wasn't realizing that when I was formulating, mind you. But I only had my head to test on at the time. A lot of people are not really so willing to just test new products. I just spray this on their hair, and I get it, rightfully so. Like, I'm not mad at nobody for it, but I'm willing. And so I was like, I'm going to need to make a whole nother deep conditioner, leave-in conditioner. I said deep conditioner. I actually went back and brought back a conditioner, a leave-in. A friend with like type 1 something here actually asked me to make, and she liked it and all that stuff. But I just figured typically those hair types, they're not like, they may be looking for dry shampoo or something on the internet. They're not really. I never really had many other people ask me about that leave-in. The point is, I ended up bringing this lightweight leave-in back because when I Googled it, I went straight to the internet to see what do I do. And it said the lightweight products, lightweight leave-ins, and the best types of like oils. And I'm like, I pretty much already have a formula for this already. I did this already. I changed like one oil and that was it. It worked great for his hair. Like from the first application, we knew it was going to be great. So one day we were in our co-working session and I was talking to the group and we were talking about our hair types, like how our hair behaves. So everybody else, of course, whose hair agreed with the product, their description was not low porosity. It was closer to high. It dries real easy, real fast. And hers was like, oh, I'm the opposite. My hair holds water forever. I was like, hold on. Karen, I think we figured out the problem. So she did the porosity test. Her hair never sank. It was in there for hours. So I was like, this explains a lot of things, Karen. So her and my son were the testers for the lightweight leave-in, which she loves and will comment about periodically on my socials. And she made a review and everything with a picture. Just talking about what a difference it made for her hair. But that conversation happened because I wasn't specifically trying to tell somebody what to do or what not to do with their hair. We're not a monolith. Questions should be asked about what someone's hair behaves like, and then, recommendations from there. You might want to try these things. Hair health is where it's at. And that's what I think we're all wanting to have at the end of the day. You may not say it in these words, but when you're asking for long hair, you're really asking for healthy hair, because that's hair that grows. So all that to say is we can have conversations with each other about hair and be nice and be helpful. What I'm saying, friends, is do what works for you, share what works for you, but don't be a know-it-all, end-all, be-all, because you're not nobody. And I mean that with respect. I'm not either. Anywho, we could be a little more humble. I feel like that's a good place to land that. So humbly, I'm gonna turn around, show you my hair. Going to show you my hair. So this is the wet results. Hope it didn't look like crazy in the back. I ain't checked. I'll see after I diffuse it. It's laying down pretty good though. I ain't got no complaints. I'm liking it. It's good. So I'm gonna diffuse it. I guess I'll show you some since this is an extended video. Okay, say hello to the Tymo Air Hype. That's what we're using today to diffuse this hair. I use it on, high heat, high flow, high pressure, whatever they call it. The high settings on both ends. And so just gonna do a little demonstrating real quick about how I go about this here. Show you a little bit, and then I'm gonna do the rest off camera, come back. Okay. So I'm gonna take off my glasses though, because it fogs up my glasses horribly if I leave them on while I do this whole thing. And no thank you.
So let's talk about how we're going to diffuse this hair. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but I always do it on high heat, high air, high flow, whatever it's called. And I start by just hovering the diffuser, or the blow dry with the diffuser attachment, over my hair. And I just kind of go up and down, just in this easy motion right here. And I've really had to make sure I pay attention to the bottom of my hair, because I don't know why, but I pay so much attention to the roots that I forget the rest of the hair gotta get dry too. So anyway, moving on to the other side. I don't spend a lot of time just with this preliminary part, if you will. It's like a minute on each side or something like that. Like the full blow drying process is like less than 30 minutes, really 25. So anyway, just continue to hover over the hair just to get it started, start the drying process before I start the whole wild flingery. So anyway, you can tell I'm ADHD bored already, but it's got to be done. So anyway, so now that I've kind of gotten that bit out of the way, I fling my hair to one side, and I saw someone else do this method and thought I would give it a try for myself. But I also like that. I feel like it helps give me volume, and two, it helps me get to my roots better and easier. So I do a mix of like hovering and putting the diffuser attachment like in my actual hair with the, I don't know what that's considered, combs or teeth or whatever. And okay, and so getting those roots, I probably already said that, and making sure I get down the hair shaft still. Just trying to make sure I get all of the hair dry. Like, I don't know, I get in one spot and get comfortable sometimes and don't remember to get all of the hair. So I'm not sure why I'm doing all that, but here I am again. And I'm just getting the back. This is a good way to get the roots in the back, since the hair is all kind of just sort of coming forward and over. So anyway, moving right along, getting the top part once I fling it back over, and just paying attention to that hair again, getting down on the roots again and down the hair shaft. Gonna fling it over to the other side now and do the same process, getting those roots. And I try to make sure that I spend equal time on both sides of my hair. Sometimes I feel like I'll end up with a lopsided dry, if that makes any sense. But I try to get a feel for, if I've done so much time on the right side, try to make sure I get equal amount of time on the left side and not hit myself in the hair with a dryer while I'm at it. So anyway, hovering over the hair shaft again, and then just kind of putting the teeth, comb, whatever it is, into the scalp. Well, not in the scalp, but against it in the hair, just to make sure I'm getting that as dry as possible. And then I'm going to bring that hair back over and just repeat the same thing I kind of did on the other side. Get that hair back down because it was trying to be a little crazy. And getting into the roots, I try not to, like, I've noticed that if I spend too much time on the roots, it like dries the hair out too much up there. So I try to be, I guess, mindful of that, because I can see it in the hair and the way it looks at the end result. So here I'm just pulling my hair apart and actually sticking the diffuser in the roots, because I found that is actually helpful in getting that hair dry, because sometimes I would have fully dry hair on the top, and then it's just still wet on the inside. So anyway, this is pretty much it. This is the process, and I hope that was helpful. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest off camera and come back to chat.
So I think it's mostly dry. I think it's looking really good here, actually. Got me questioning myself. Of course, now I didn't do it exactly the way I used to do it. It was a different gel and a little bit of a different method, but overall, okay. So, I like to have a sit down like in for a minute, because I'm over this. I'm gonna come back and stretch it after I just let it sit for a bit. I just feel like it needs that. I don't know, but it's part of my process now. It inadvertently has become part of my process to just like sit for a minute. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. All right, and then I'm gonna come back and stretch my hair, give you my final thoughts, and be on my way. This blow drying method though, like, I don't think that's the only thing, but like, got my hair looking pretty like full. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be back.
Oh my god, so in editing this video, I find that my mic that was on still did not record, and somehow, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I'm annoyed, but I'm gonna do this voiceover and finish this video. So I'm gonna stretch my hair, and to do that, I took that one section that you see me holding, and I'm going to take my blow dryer with a concentrator attachment, that's it, and I'm just gonna go up and down that section like 2 or 3 times. It is on high heat, high air. So that's the first section done. It's stretched, it looks nice. I'm going to finish the rest and come back. All right, so it's all stretched. It's looking real good. And then I decided to go ahead and lift my roots. I had been humming and hawing about whether or not I was going to do it, but I just decided to go ahead and lift them, get some extra fullness. I really like the way it looks just with the top not looking so flat. So I really just take my pick though, and I just lift at the roots. That's all there is to it. Some people do a lot more than this and go further down the hair, but this is good enough for me. So all that's done, and overall I'm really loving the results of my hair. And I was actually really impressed that this really old technique that I used to do, you know, a variation of, still worked so well. So I'm just at some point going to do a 360 after I get that rogue hair out of the way. I'm scarred and I'll be trying to check and make sure it's not all standing up, like unlike that one time where I did, you know, I don't know what I was thinking, but it wasn't looking so good in the back. So anyway, I gave you like three 360s in this video, kind of, just to make sure I was in frame, because I don't know, it's weird. I can't really see it. It doesn't matter. So with all that being said, I really enjoyed doing this hairstyle and doing the blast from the past. I think I'm going to try some more stuff I used to do just to see how much I like it. The hair came out really good. It's beautifully defined. Got a little shine there, and I'm happy. So all the products that I used today are listed in the description below. And all the ones that I used here, except for the styling cream, were Tropical Fantasy favorite. Oh my god, it's my favorite Tropical Fantasy fragrance. The styling cream was strawberry patchouli. I also offer an apple aroma and a lavender peppermint, a spearmint eucalyptus, lemon pound cake, and unscented. So all of those are offered on my website, and you can check out the links below if you are interested in any of the products that you saw me use today or that you've seen me use in some past videos. I also put together bundles for people if you're interested in multiple products. The more you buy, the more you save. So anyway, let me know what you think about my final results in the comments. I'm curious to think or to see if you are excited with my results, as excited as I am. Anyway, what do you think about today's lip gloss? This one is a golden brown. It's one of my favorites. I didn't used to wear lighter browns like this before, but I don't know, now I'm a fan. That's the bottle. Well, it's a bottle, I guess. Anyway, tube, whatever. That's what it looks like. Link below if you're interested. And also, these are the earrings that I wore. And so I make some resin one-of-a-kind earrings, so they won't look like these, but you can get some unique earrings if you're interested. There's a link below for that. Also, I forgot to mention the link for the hair journal if you are wanting to take your hair care journey a little bit more seriously. So finally, I just want to say thank you to everyone. If you made it to this video, especially, I appreciate you watching. Thank you for helping me get to 200 subscribers. And if you like this video, please subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my uploads, and give this video a like. With all that being said, I appreciate you, friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.